The Matsu Miners are on the road in Chugiak-Eagle River as they take on the Chugiak-Eagle River Chinooks in this two-game series. The Matsu Miners come into this contest with a 3-2 record. They're tied in first place, that is, with the Peninsula Oilers, who took two out of two games against the Matsu Miners and handed them. There are only two losses this season. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Jordan Field. My name is Jordan Sweat. I'm alongside my broadcasting partner today, Dan Collins, and a little bit later on, Josh Grissom. And Dan, yesterday the Miners had a pretty convincing win. It was a 3-1 win, and it was a different kind of win than what we witnessed all year for this team.
Yeah, the Miners rolled the Chugiak-Eagle River here this evening, riding that 3-game win streak. And part of the reason for that, you look at what they've done the past three nights, a lot of fluidity in the lineup. Last night it was the 1, 2, and 3 hitters, the trio of Schwartz, Levi, and Bissonette really getting it done for the club. They combined for all 3 RBIs and a couple runs scored there at the top of the order, but that's not to discredit anybody else within the lineup, as they tend to get a little bit of pop from the mat from the 4, 5, and 6 hitters as well, whether that be a clutch double or you see just the other night Jake Scudder take one over the center field fence. And then you have AJ Lee, the 8th hitter last night, getting on base and Scooter by him in the 9th hole with a nice clutch bunt to get him over. So the lineup looking very fluid the past 3 games here for the Miners, and that is one of the reasons why they are riding that 3-game winning streak. This pitching so far has been no joke. Look at the start last night by Carlos Vega. Really battled out there, got into some jams early on, but was able to get out of it. Only gave up the 1 run in his 5 innings of work, and that earned him the win. And then the 4 combined innings of solid relief by Connor Higgins and Jordan Floyd, the 2 southpaws. Of course, Floyd picking up the save in last night's contest. Just absolutely outstanding from them. Pitching has been solid so far this whole season. And Trent Shelton, who's going to get the nod tonight on the bump for the Miners. He just arrived last night, so numbers-wise, he has big shoes to fill.
Absolutely. You mentioned the pitching altogether. This is a team where their starters have a 2.31 ERA. So that's overall very solid. The bullpen has not given up a run yet to this day, and the total ERA for this pitching staff is a whopping, or not a whopping, it's a 1.32 ERA, and that's definitely what head coach Ben Taylor really wants to have it out there. And he knows that his batters are going to be coming back and starting to heat up a little bit. He loves the acquisition of Levi Jordan to this team. He got his first start against the Chinooks back on, I believe it was on Sunday, and then he was 2 for 4 in that game and 3 for 3 last night. Was on base 4 times too. So Levi Jordan has been a great presence in this lineup, and the Miners are definitely looking for the 4th one of the season. If they do pick up the
win, we have the trainers of the here in the ballpark come to the announcers booth quickly. If you would please, the trainers, please.
Pitch right here on your Matsu Miners Radio Network.
little bit about our sponsor tonight. Home Optics is a small business established in 1996 in the Chugiak-Eagle River area by Joy and her employees have served many people around the state and the world and are known for their outstanding customer service. Their store is located in the Park Gate building in Eagle River.
Shortstop, that's third, Joshua Black.
Now batting for the Miners, number 18, the right fielder, Garrison Schwartz.
DHing here today, batting fifth, Tyler Wyatt gets started first base. He bats sixth. Peter Bynum, he bats seventh and playing left field. As Garrison Schwartz swings and fouls that one off into the glove. AJ Lee playing third base. He bats eighth, and Madison Nickens batting ninth and playing center field today. This is Brady Batten starting for the Chinooks this season. As Schwartz finds himself in a hole 0-2. The 0-2 from Batten. It's going to be a fastball. That's going to be swung back. And he will stay alive here. Here comes the 0-2. Breaking ball, also fouled back. Garrison Schwartz in right field for the second time today. This pitch is going to be down into the turf, actually, not the dirt. This is the turf field, brand new turf. This is the first year for the Chinooks having this brand new turf. Kind of similar to that at Mulcahy Stadium, as Schwartz swings at this one and right back to the pitcher, and he's just going to take it himself. That's going to be batting 1U officially. Don't really see a 1U too often. Brady Batten getting the first batter to ground out here. And that brings up Levi Jordan, who has been an incredible asset to this team as of late. He's only played in 2 games so far for this team. He
Number 1,
got a little bit of a late start getting to Alaska, but he hasn't really lost a step by any means from coming over from the University of Washington. So Levi Jordan gets the second baseman in today's game as he looks at a breaking ball that's off the plate.
And while we have a moment here early on, what an emotional rendition there, the national anthem, as you look out to the stars and bars that is half-staffed tonight this evening because of the tragedy in Orlando. And we do want the listeners to know that our thoughts and prayers are going out to all the families who are...
And that foul ball sponsored by Friends and Dan Sattler.
This goes to show you that nowhere are you safe in the world, and it just breaks tons of hearts out there, including our own. So Levi Jordan with a 1-1 count here. And it's going to be an off-speed pitch. He gets him to chase at it, so Levi Jordan down in the count 1-2 now. Levi Jordan was 3 for 3 yesterday and was on base 4 times actually with an RBI. So he has definitely done his fair share ever since he's suited up for the Miners. Here comes the 1-2 from Brady Batten. It's going to be a fastball off the end of the plate. And it's going to be a ball here, so 2-2 now the count on Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan already with 5 hits, and he had an RBI last night and a run scored with a stolen base last night. So set the bar extremely high for himself as he is one of the newest additions here to the team.
Got him to chase one into the turf. And runs over to first place.
And the Jalapenos Mexican restaurant is awarding a $10 gift card for every strike on the Chinooks road tonight, which we will award at the end of the inning. Number 6, the shortstop, Josh Bissonette.
And that brings up Josh Bissonette, the shortstop in today's game. Bissonette looks at a first pitch fastball outside. Bissonette, shortstop from Baylor University. As he looks at a strike here across right down the middle. Count now evens up to 1-1. Bissonette, one of 2 Miners with home runs this season. In fact, there are only 3 players in the ABL this season with home runs, and 2 of them happen to be on this Miners club as he looks at another strike. Down on the count 1-2 now. Josh Roulette, the catcher, waits on deck if it gets that far. Here comes the 1-2 from Batten. It's going to be a breaking pitch, and the umpire says he did go around. And that's going to be the second strikeout of the inning for Brady Batten. And 1-2-3 goes to the Madison Miners. And the Chugiak-Eagle over Chinooks will be coming to bat right here in the bottom half of the first inning on your Madison Miners Radio Network. Trent Shelton gets his first start of the season for the Madison Miners, and Trent Shelton recently just got here. He pretty much did not play this season. I believe he played for Oregon State. Originally he was from California, but I ended up doing some research and it said he's from Oregon State, or at least he was on the Oregon State roster.
Going to the plate for your Chinooks, number 6, the second baseman, Will Bass.
For the Chinooks, Will Bass will be leading off, playing second base. Mason Millard will be batting second, playing center field. Hunter Vansaw playing left field. He bats third. Ethan Whisker batting cleanup. He's playing first base. Aaron Shackelford will be DHing. He bats fifth. Tim Millard, the third baseman, he bats sixth. So this one's shot 3. That's going to be no, it's going to be off the wall. And this one's going to be going all the way to third, and it's going to be close, but it looks like Will Bass will be getting into third base safely here with the leadoff triple.
Marcus Carpenter recognizes that Chinook extra base hit.
And that one came right off the top of the wall. It's like I could have sworn that one was gone for a
Batting for the
quick
Chinooks, number 5, the center fielder, Mason Mallard.
Picking up and tossing it right back into the infield. That couldn't have missed by no more than about 2 or 3 feet. So Bass leading this game off in style for the Chinooks.
Trent Shelton already behind. As the second pitch goes to short to Bissonette. Bissonette fields and throws it over to first, and before the first out of the game for the Madison Miners, coming in to score is Will Bass. Triple. And just like in the first inning.
Now batting for the Chinooks, number 22, the left fielder, Hunter Benzo.
Get on the board first in the first inning. Marge with a 6-3 put out. And that brings up Hunter Vansaw. Vansaw able to lay off that one there.
Good first 2 at bats there for the Chinooks. Bass leading things off with a triple right off the wall.
And that foul ball sponsored by Labor's Local 341.
It results for an RBI for him. So 2 solid at bats for the Chinooks early on to start this ball game off.
Here comes the 1-1 from Shelton. Breaking ball catches the middle half of the plate. As Hunter Vansaw now down in the count. Vansaw goes down swinging as Shelton records his first out. Or first strikeout, that is. Second out of the inning.
Coming to the plate for you, Chinooks, number 25, the first baseman, Ethan Whisker.
from Hillsdale College in Michigan. This past season, he had 376. As he lifts to the first pitch strike, he had 376 with 16 doubles, 1 triple, 6 home runs, and 50 RBIs. He was second on the team behind Chris McDonald, who signed a pro contract after just graduating. As this one gets away from catcher Josh Roulette, the count now evens up to 1-1. The Chinooks early on with a 1-0 lead, just like in the first game of the series. Now let's at another strike with 1-2 now. The count on Nathan Whisker. And the 1-2 from Shelton's going to be a breaking ball, and he is able to foul this one off as he stays alive. First road trip of the season to Chugiak. There's the 1-2 pitch from Shelton. There's a breaking ball off the end of the plate as the count now evens up at 2-2. We mentioned brand new turf inserted on the infield here. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball called, strike 3, and Trent Shelton gets out of the inning with a second strikeout.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Home Optics. Come see the optical match
Chinooks get a leadoff triple and ending up scoring him on
We
the
want to say a
second
big
batter
thank
of
you
the
to the
game.
Hall and Upton
Miners by 1-0 right here on your match Miners.
Thank you to all the people fixing around.
Welcome back to Lee Jordan Field.
Now batting the Florida Miners, number 25, catcher Josh Roulette.
This will bring up Josh Roulette for the first time today. He will be catching. And the Miners are short-handed at the catcher position early on, as we were just informed today that backup catcher Troy Squires was sent home with a hand injury, and we definitely want to wish him well. Here comes the 1-0. That's going to be outside.
Yeah, a little bit of an unfortunate situation for the Miners, and right now their emergency backup catcher being Jake Scudder, the typical first baseman for the Miners, who is designated hitting tonight and actually on deck.
Josh Roulette ahead in the count, 3-0 now. As he looks at a first pitch, or a first strike for him in this at bat, 3-1 now the count. Brady Benton retired, decided in order in the top half of the first inning as he whips at this one. 3-2 now the count on Josh Roulette. Here comes the payoff pitch. Ball 4. So Josh Roulette reaches base for the first time today, and that's the Miners' first base runner of the day as well. And now coming to bat will be Jake Scudder, the designated hitter in today's game.
Number 22, the designated hitter, Jake Scudder.
First free pass from Brady Batten. As Roulette gets his lead over at first base. And Scudder looks at a strike.
And nothing like a free pass to lead off the inning when you have your slugger coming up to the plate, that being Jake Scudder here for the Miners. Does have a round trip around the year. Plenty of pop in that bat.
And pick off back at first, check on Roulette, but he was in there safely. Here's how the defensive alignment looks for the Chinooks. Vance on left, Mallard in center, and Masoto in right field. Millard over at third base. Alvarez doing shortstop today. Bass over at second, and Whisker at first. And Ben Hill doing the catch. Here comes the 0-1 to Scudder. It's going to be a fastball up and away. Count now even up at 1-1. And another pickoff attempt over at first base, trying to keep Josh Roulette close. For the season, Scudder is batting .235 with 4 for 17 with a home run and 4 RBIs, 3 of which came during that 3-run home run in the game versus the Chinooks during the home opener. Count now 2-1 on Jake Scudder. Back right toward us.
NFL ball sponsored by Edwards Jones Financial Investments and Gavin Reed.
Nobody out. 1-0 in favor of the Chinooks. Here comes a 2-2. That's going to be swung on into the gap. It goes. And rounding second base, heading to the third, is Roulette. As he will slide in safely, but cut off and throw to second base and thrown out is Jake Scudder. Nice heads-up play by the Chinooks, able to cut that ball off and throw it back to second base in time to get Jake Scudder, robbing him of a
Number
double.
15, the first baseman, Tyler Watt.
But the Miners do have a runner at third with only 1 down. Gotta look at the bright side.
Aggressive move there by Scudder, and quite the relay throw. It was a perfect throw, and it had to be perfect in order to get him there at second. Not a bad decision by Scudder's part by any means. Unfortunately, it didn't work out in his favor. Tried pushing the envelope a little bit, but like I said, perfect throws back into the infield, and good tag applied to Scudder to get him out there at second base. However, as you mentioned, Roulette did make his way all the way to third.
As a count now 2-0 on Tyler Wyatt, who's playing first base today. Roulette over at third base, and Wyatt just
NFL ball sponsored by friends of Dan Settler.
Scooter Bynum awaits on deck. Breaking the ball down the dirt gives Wyatt a 3-1 count to work with. 325 feet down the left field line, 400 dead center, and 325 in the right field line as well. Here comes the 3-1. That's going to be down into the turf, as it's going to be the second walk of the inning by Brady Batten. And now the Miners have runners on the corners with Scooter Bynum coming to play.
Number 9, the left fielder, Scooter Bynum.
You have an interesting situation here with Bynum at the plate, because runners at the corners and 1 out. We did see him put down a pretty good bunt yesterday. Wonder if perhaps he'll go to that routine again. We'll have to look over there at the third baseman, Millard, and if he's playing anywhere near back or toward the runner, Wouldn't be shocked if Bynum tried a suicide squeeze here.
Scooter Bynum is known for bunting. He recorded a sacrifice bunt in yesterday's game during his first plate appearance, bunting the runner over from first to second base. And Bynum's got runners on the corners with one out. And Bynum for the first pitch strike. And the 0-1 pitch is going to be way outside. And all the runners stay put.
No attempt at a bunt so far here for Scooter, so perhaps my guess, nothing more than that. Looks like Bynum's going to be free swinging up there at the plate.
Here comes the 1-1. That's going to be ball low. And Scooter is ahead in the count here, 2-1 on him. I mentioned this is a two-game series here in Chugiak. Miners head home later tonight as Bynum sends us down the left field line.
Ball sponsored by Laborers Local 341.
And it's down to 2-2. But Palmer's not too far away from Chugiak, so the Miners will head home after this one, and we'll come right back here again tomorrow, same exact time, 7 o'clock Alaska time. First pitch in this two-game series. Miners won the first game of the series. Scooter Bynum calls time. Got Wyatt at first and roll out over at third. And the 2-2 pitch to Scooter Bynum is going to be swung on, hit. This could be 2. On to second for 1, but not able to turn it as the Miners are able to get the run aboard as Chevrolet comes across the plate for their first run of the game and tying this game up to 1. And a job well done by Scooter Bynum, able to plate that run home and able to beat it out over at first base as well.
Number 5, the third baseman, A.J. Lee.
It was the speed of Scooter Bynum that is the reason the Miners plate their first run. If he wasn't as fleet as foot, this inning might have been over. Instead, it continues. Not much longer.
Tonight's game brought to you by Home Optics. Come to the Update Matchmaker. As we told you earlier in the game, Jalapenos Mexican Restaurant is awarding a $10 gift card for every strike.
Welcome back to the field as Miners.
Coming to the plate for your Chinooks, number 8, the designated hitter, Aaron Shackelford.
Second. He's DHing here. today. Leading off the bottom of the second for the Chinooks. Chinooks come into this contest 2-2 overall. Miners with a 3-2 record, like we mentioned, with the possibility of moving into sole possession of first place at the end of the day with the win. And Shackelford looks at a first pitch strike from Trent Shelton.
If you want to be the first place team, you have to respond exactly the way the Miners did in the top of the second inning with a run of their own, and it's a brand new ball game now here.
Shackelford looks at a breaking ball strike, 0-2 down the count on him.
And Shelton, after giving up that leadoff triple last inning, settled in quite nicely. A 6-3 ground out, then back-to-back Ks for the young man.
Strike three called again. Thought that might have been a little bit off the plate. Yeah, Shackelford has some words for home plate umpire Chris Booker here today.
But regardless, that's going to be the third strikeout in a row for Shelton.
At the plate for your Chinooks, number 24,
Right,
third
actually
baseman
settled
Jim
in very
Millard.
nicely after the leadoff triple last half of the inning.
Yeah, at the very least, you could say showing great signs of settling in.
This one's going to be swung on it to right center field. And coming to make the catch is Madison Nickens to record the second out of the inning. Unless you want to bring up Alex Masoto.
Now batting for your
right
Chinooks,
fielder in today's game.
number 17, the right fielder, Alex Masoto.
Alex Masoto swinging and missing at the very first pitch offered from Shelton. And the one from him is going to be a fastball away. There might have been a changeup, actually. The 1-1 pitch from Shelton. It's going to be a fastball off the plate as well. 2-1 now the count on Masoto. Masoto sends this one.
And that foul ball sponsored by the Chinooks Shack.
Count now evens up at 2-2. What a view for those fans out in left field sitting on the hill out there. There's, it looks like about 7 people out there to be exact. Masoto sends this one just beyond the glove of shortstop Josh Bissonnette. Would have been a fantastic play by the shortstop there. But nonetheless, it's going to be a 2-out single for Alex Masoto.
At the plate for your Chinooks, number 30, the catcher, Van Hill.
Van Hill looks at a first pitch strike. And a pickoff attempt over at first base as he's able to dive in safely. Comes the 0-1. That's going to be swung on. It's a possibility to fall down, but the second baseman, Levi Jordan, comes in to make the catch. And good thing for that, too, because if that gets down, runners would be
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lee Jordan.
Miners get out of the inning unharmed.
As your Chugiak-Eagle River
Maxie
Chinooks
Miners
take
will be
on
coming down in the bottom
Maxie
or in the top
Miners.
half.
tonight's game brought to you by Home
We'll
Office.
come back on your Maxie
Come
Miners
to the
video.
optical of Max
Welcome back to Lee Jordan Field. Back in Levi Jordan Field. Close.
Not batting for the minors. Should have called the center fielder Madison Nichols.
We'll definitely take it.
Spectacular running grab there to end the bottom of the second inning. It's been spectacular not only at the plate but in the field as well here for the Miners.
As Madison Nickens fouls this ball off. Nickens batting ninth here today. Miners wearing their camo unis for the second time this year. The last time they wore that was when we took on the Anchorage Bucks in Anchorage.
And then foul ball sponsored by Labor's Local 341.
As Nickens falls into an 0-2 count here.
And for those tuning in right now, if they're still tuning in by the fourth and fifth inning, they're going to get a little bit of ear candy from media manager Josh Grissom, as I'll be stepping aside for a chili dog, and he'll be jumping in the booth with you, Jordan.
And Jalapeno's Mexican Restaurant is awarding a $10 gift card for every strike in the store here tonight. We'll be awarding that at the end of the
You
game.
know what? It worked last time. As soon as you stepped
Number
off
18,
the line,
the right fielder,
a little magic in the
Madison
bottom
Short.
half of the fourth inning when media manager Josh Grissom came on and like, so maybe it will work again. But it is a tie game for the Miners this time.
Yeah, that would be big shoe to fill by the Miners hitters tonight, because that was 6 offensive runs there, an offensive explosion as soon as I stepped out.
It was a 7-1 final.
7-1 final indeed against these Chugiak-Eagle River Chinooks.
This brings up Garrison Schwartz, who fouls this one off. His count is now even up at 1-1.
So in that case, let's hope history repeats itself.
Yeah, why not?
It tends to do it from time to time.
Fastball high and away. Count of 2-1 on the right fielder Schwartz. Schwartz grounded out to the first baseman. It was a 1 uninsisted. So that means the pitcher took that all the way to first base himself. Sends this into shallow left field. And left fielder Vansall right there to make the catch for the second out of the inning. And this brings up Levi Jordan, who struck out.
Number 1, the
first
second
inning.
baseman, Levi
He's had
Jordan.
A hot bet the first couple of nights he's suited up for the Miners.
Yeah, he's done so well early on. I think he's spoiled us here in the broadcast booth. We're expecting nothing but great things from him. Don't worry, though. He is allotted a few off nights. At least at the plate. You'd like to see him sparkling in the field all season long.
During batting practice, he made a couple of great plays out at second base here today. So we know he has the flashy leather as he waits his 0-1 pitch. He's breaking the ball foul off.
And that foul ball sponsored by Edward Jones Financial Investments and Gavin Reed.
Actually, right his way, and he had to put his glove in the direction of the 5-hole to make this snag. So luckily he had a heads-up play there at second base during BP.
Comes the 0-2 from Batten. Going to be a fastball swung on and
And that foul
foul
ball sponsored by Friends of Dan Sadler.
back. Just about every road place we've been to has a sponsor for a foul ball. Not every single foul ball, though, but something like that.
Don't really remember exactly how it was in Anchorage, but definitely in Kenai and down here in Chugiak, that tends to be the case here.
Well, if you remember, well, I don't think you remember, but I remember after hearing it the first one, I'm like, oh, no, not again. As the 0-2 misses outside. But yeah, in Anchorage at Mulcahy Stadium, I heard that after the very first foul ball. I'm like, oh, man,
That's right.
really? And it kind of mellowed after that. It wasn't nearly every single one obnoxious as the Oilers was, but here comes the 1-2 pitch. Right back up the middle for Levi Jordan as he reaches base for the first time today, and then we'll bring up Josh Bissonette.
That kid just has to get a hit, apparently. 3 straight
Number
hits
6, the shortstop,
in his many
Josh
games.
Bissonette.
3-game hitting streak for the second baseman, Levi Jordan. Swinging the lumber extremely well at the plate.
Levi was on base 4 times yesterday. 3 of them were hits. He was 3 for 3 yesterday with an RBI, a stolen base. As the first pitch to Josh Bissonnette with a fastball on the outside part of the plate.
Hit by pitch last night for Jordan. They got him right on the number 1 in his jersey.
Jordan gets a pretty decent lead over at first base. Nothing doing. Breaking ball down in the dirt. And Jordan will just have to go back to first base as he hits his hands together. As he probably didn't think that he would have had a good enough jump to get to second base, but once he realized that he missed that opportunity, it was too late. And pickoff come back to first, and Jordan gets in safely. Brady Batten already with 50 pitches here today. Here comes the 1-1 to Bissonnette. The runner goes, and this is going to be fouled back. And kind of evens up a little
And the foul ball sponsored by Lakers Local 341.
Breaking ball away. The count now evens up to 2-2 on the shortstop, Bissonnette. By Jordan is capable of stealing bases. He's over at first base. He gets his lead. I'm not too surprised to see him take off on the 2-2 pitch, as he was leaning the other way and was able to get back into first safely. And we await the 2-2 from Batten. Again, caught him leaning, but able to get back in safely. I believe he does have the steal sign on right now. We'll see if he still has it on after the Chinooks are wary of him. As he takes off for second, ball down the dirt, and this is going to be no throw whatsoever as it gets away from catcher Ben Hill. So the count now 3-2 on Josh Bissonnette. So credit Levi Jordan with the stolen base. As we await the payoff pitch with 2 outs here to Bissonnette. Fastball hit toward the gap. It's going to be a tough play for Alvarez. And sliding, and he got the tag. He says he got him on the tag. But Bill Perez and Josh Bissonnette.
It's the Chinooks versus the Miners, brought to you by Home Office.
Tough way to get out of the inning here for the Madison Miners. They're unable to capitalize. I'm going to lead off one to Josh Bissonnette. Right back here.
A gift card for every strikeout the Chinooks throw tonight. First up, Isaac Alvarez.
1-1 score here. Bottom half of the third inning. It's going to be 9-1-2 in the order. Isaac Alvarez, batter. He plays ball for Ben Taylor over at Chandler Gilbert Community College. This is going to be hit over to third base. It's going to be Lee as he throws him out over at first base. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Trent Shelton here to start the bottom half of the third inning.
Now batting the former Chinooks, number 6, the second baseman, Will Bass.
Top of the order, Will Bass on the first pitch of the game. Took it to the deep right center field. Thought that might have had the distance to go, as we think it hit off the top of the fence and stayed in the ballpark as he got a leadoff triple on that very first pitch. As he looks at a first pitch strike.
Yeah, that rocket confused quite a few of us here in the booth. It was sworn it went out, but it had to hit off one of those advertisement signs out there in right field, right in front of Schwartz.
Here comes the 0-1 to Will Bass. He sends us in just about the same exact location this time. It's going to be trouble, but making the running grab is Garrison Schwartz in right field. If he does not come up with that, and that's another triple for Will Bass.
Freddie Garrison Schwartz with an excellent jump out there in right field. Rushing all the
Batting
way
for
towards
Chinooks,
center.
number 5, the center fielder, Mason
Let's get a little bit of chase as well, but good hand and good jump here by Schwartz to make the second out of the inning.
So 3 pitches, 2 outs for Trent Shelton, the lefty, in his third inning of work. Now that brings up Mason Mallard, who looks at a first pitch ball. Mallard grounded out to shortstop his first time up. Mallard playing center field today for the Chinooks. As we await the 1-0, that's the center field. That should be an easy play for center fielder Madison Nickens as he makes the catch. And how do you like that? It's a 6th pitch for third inning for Trent Shelton. So it's very easy inning of work for him. As Match Minders comes back to that in the top half of the 4th inning right here on your Match Minders Radio Network.
We've got batting for the Miners, number 25, the catcher Josh Roulette.
Welcome back to the Lee Jordan Field as catcher Josh Roulette's here to lead off the top half of the 4th inning. Roulette scored the first run of the game for the Matching Miners back in the 2nd inning as he got on the base via a walk and later came around to score. As he sends his first pitch.
That foul ball sponsored by Edward Jones Financial Investments in Gavin Reed.
Count now 0-1 on him. As he looks at a second strike to him, as that catches the outside part of the plate. Ready batting in for his 4th inning of work here as we wait the 0-2. The fastball outside. Count now 1-2 on the catcher Roulette.
That has been primarily working fastballs here in the early part of this matchup.
And I forgot to mention that for this inning and the next inning, we have our media manager, Josh Grissom, on the mic. So Josh Grissom going to be providing a different kind of color commentary than what me and Dan Collins can provide, as he looks at a strikeout looking here.
And Jalapenos Mexican Restaurant awarding a $10 gift card for every strikeout the Chinooks throw tonight. We will award that at the end of this inning.
It looked like he threw a curveball on that pitch, one of the few ones that we've seen from him today, and it just caught the outside corner.
Number 22, the designated hitter, Jake
I
Scudder.
wasn't quite expecting it to break as much as it did.
And that's going to be bringing up Jake Scudder, who's DHing today. The DH and first baseman for the team, and I guess he's the emergency catcher if anything should happen to Josh Roulette, since the Miners are down the catcher early on. This one's going to be fouled off as the count now.
And that foul ball is sponsored by Friends of Dan Sattler.
Scudder singled in the first, looking to start off something here for the Miners here in the top of the fourth.
To right, he got thrown out of second base, trying to extend it into a double. And he looks at a second strike here. 1-2 now the count on Scudder. So he is 1 for 1 on the day. For the season, he's hitting .235. And here comes the 1-2 pitch to Scudder. And it's going to be a fastball outside. Count now evened up at 2-2 here.
I like that aggressive running style, especially early in the game, early in the season. You kind of test out the outfielder's arms. But then also, if he gets to second base, that's an extra runner in scoring position as well.
And Scudder fouls this one off, stays alive, and you're absolutely right, Josh. This is a team who likes to play aggressive, and you know they can afford to do it early on, and you know the benefits are so much better than the risk you kind of take for it. Can afford to do so, and here comes the 2-2 pitch to Jake Scudder. It's going to be a fastball high and away as the count now not even up, but it now moves to a full count here.
Looked like he was just trying to get him to chase that one a little bit up high. Scudder being very patient here at the plate. Interesting to see what pitch is thrown.
So the payoff pitch to Scudder is going to be swung on. Here's a fastball high. Would have likely reached base. He had a walk there. Swings through it for the second out of the inning.
Number 15, the first baseman, Tyler Wyatt.
This brings up utility man Tyler Wyatt. He looks at a first pitch ball. Second consecutive strikeout for Brady Batten for the Chinooks. His fifth strikeout of the day. Here's a strike to Tyler Wyatt. Count out even a 1-1. As Wyatt sends this into the gap in right center field, and coming in to make the catch is Alex Soto doing just pretty much to change that catch. That catch was towards me a couple of minutes ago. Do anything to top that fourth thing, and you know, to the bottom half, it's coming to bat right here. I think that's Miners right now. Jordan Field. 1-1 is the score. Both teams with 2 hits here as Hunter Vansaw comes to the bat. And he looks at a first pitch strike. Bandsaw was the first strikeout victim to pitcher Trent Shelton back in the first inning. Evens the count up to 1-1.
In this particular matchup right here between Bandsaw and Shelton, I favor Shelton on the mound because it's lefty-lefty. So any breaking pitch that he throws is going to break away from the batter.
Fastball gets in there on Bandsaw as the count now moves to 1-2. Looks like that was a curveball, but it was a strike nonetheless. So here comes the 1-2 pitch to Bandsaw. That's going to be swung on hit to first. It's going to be Tyler Wyatt, who takes it himself 3 unassisted. There's the official scoring if you're keeping track at home. That will be the first out of the inning for Trent Shelton. He's working on his 4th inning.
Now batting for your Chinooks, number 25, the first baseman, Ethan Whisker.
For those of you who haven't seen the infield yet this summer, the infield is now turf. Something they redesigned the field and kind of overhauled the traditional dirt and grass infield, and now it's turf, kind of echoing the same style as Mulcahy Stadium in Anchorage.
And you did play here when you were with the team in 2013 and 2014.
Yes,
so.
It was a very nice field back then. Not that the turf is any negative impact, but it was a very nice ballpark and still is.
Now, as a player, did you have any kind of preference? Did you ever regret playing on turf compared to normal grass and dirt?
I'd say as a pitcher,
as this one's popped up, it should get into the stands, and it does.
And that ball ball sponsored by Friends of Dan Sacre.
Having a turf mound out there is a little weird. You don't quite get the dig in and the push off that you would like. But as a player in the infield or as a catcher, having a turf just means true bounces, so it makes it a little bit easier to judge where the ball's going to end up.
Here comes a 2-1 pitch from Shelton. That's when we swung on hit into the right center gap. But coming in to make the play is Madison Nickens from center field for the second out of the inning. And Trent Shelton has really settled down ever since giving off
At the
that
plate,
leadoff
for
triple back
Chinooks,
in the first
number
inning.
8, the designated hitter, Aaron Shackelberg.
You say as a pitcher, you prefer the dirt, and you're also a catcher on the team. So do you also prefer the dirt there, or does it not matter?
I kind of like the turf just because when it's dirt, sometimes there might be a little bit of a rock or something, and it might bounce off in a particular direction you weren't expecting. But turf is generally a pretty straightforward bounce as far as catching if it's in the dirt.
So you pretty much know how to read the bounce if a breaking ball is going into the dirt.
Yes, and it's not necessarily lazy fielding, but it just makes it a lot easier for fielders to be able to judge where the ball's going to be ending up.
So here comes the 0-2 pitch. I swung on a miss that comes back and hits the bat, which is a foul ball. That should not be a foul ball by any means, as Ben Taylor coming out. So is a.
He swung completely around, and he hit it on the backswing. And that's what they're arguing, and it looks like Ben Taylor's going to get that call.
So
So
it's
guys, you
going to
join
be an
us
out of the
as the
inning.
Chinooks
Might
take
have been
on
a
the
little bit
Maxi
of
Miners
interference.
tonight.
Not
Fast
exactly
action.
sure how that goes. I think that is a
Tonight's game brought
strikeout.
to you by
Yes,
Home
it is a
Office. Come see
So
the
I think it
official
should go
matchmaker.
just as a strikeout, but it goes in favor of the
Hey, we've
Miners
got
here.
great exciting
We're now
prizes to
headed
give away
to
tonight.
the
Grab those
top half
red
of
tickets.
this inning
We've
right
got
here
to
on
pass the
Max
body
Miners.
renee in Eagle River. batting for the Miners. Number 9, left fielder is Scooter Bynum.
Chugiak. Scooter Bynum, AJ Lee and Madison Nickens is the duo here this inning. Scooter Bynum, the first batter. As he looks at a first pitch ball.
Big inning here for the Miners. They've got 3 very speedy runners coming up to bat in Bynum, Lee, and Nickens. If they can get 1 or 2 of those guys going, look for some aggressive running on the bases.
And Scooter fouls this one.
And that foul ball sponsored by Laborers Local 341.
For Trent Shelton and the Miners, his pitch count's very low at 39 pitches. And we compare that to the Chinooks right now, and that's 73 pitches for Brady Batten. As a check swing, and he did not go around, says third base umpire Justin Phillips.
Now, a pitch count is a direct indicator of the patience of the batter. So the Miners are being very patient at the plate, whereas the Chinooks are kind of going after any strike, or any pitch necessarily that's close to the strike zone.
And they're making Batten work. It is a 1-to-1 game still, so not a whole lot to show for it, but anytime you can run the pitch count up, it means it's going to be a shorter day for the pitcher. As Scooter Bynum looks at the ball, so the count now moves to a full count.
One thing Coach Taylor has really stressed with his teams in the past has been getting quality ABs, and one key component of a quality AB is being able to run the count full.
And this is hit the deep center. Back it goes, and that's going to short hop the wall. Scooter Bynum's at second. He's going to stop there as he took a hard round around third base. And Scooter Bynum with a leadoff double to begin the top half of the 5th inning. Now we'll be bringing up AJ Lee.
Number 5, the third baseman, AJ Lee.
I mentioned Scooter Bynum. He's from Arizona Western. And then Carlos Vega, our teammates there.
See, I was wondering if we might see this from AJ Lee. The first pitch low in the dirt, he kind of squared around for a bunt. He might be trying to sacrifice here down the third base side. He has the speed potentially, though, to be able to beat that out as well.
Also at Arizona Western is assistant coach Joe Perez. As AJ Lee fouls this one off, the count now moves to 1-1 on him. Brady Batten in a little bit of a jam here. Runner on second base, nobody out. That's a go-ahead run over at second base, and Lee squares, and he bunts us down, and it's a beautiful bunt right back to the mound. It's Brady Batten. He throws it over to first base for the out, but he gets the job done, too, advancing Scooter Bynum from second to third base with only 1 out. So a job well done right there by AJ Lee.
And that's great, because now Nickens comes to the plate with 1 out. And I know we've kind of talked about him looking to find his rhythm
Number
at the
18,
plate.
right fielder,
Good opportunity for him. It's a deep fly ball, be able to score a run, give the Miners a 1-run advantage here. Maybe potentially bust out of
Number 12, the center fielder,
sort of
Madison.
rally here.
So this brings up Madison Nickens, the number 9 hitter for the Miners. As Nickens is looking to bring home Scooter Bynum over to third to give the Miners a 2-1 lead. This one's a breaking ball to.
And the foul ball sponsored by Edward Jones Financial Investments and Gavin Reed.
He gets out of play. So the count now moves to 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Nickens this will get the job done. This is hit to deep center field, and that's Mallard who makes the catch and coming home and scoring with Scooter Bynum, and that gives the Matsu Miners a 2-1 lead here in the top half of the 5th inning. So give Madison Nickens credit with a sacrifice fly.
Number 18, the right fielder, Garrison Schwartz.
That's just good old-fashioned baseball right there. The sack bunts move him over, the deep fly ball. taking advantage of any opportunity when you get a running and scoring position.
A little bit of small ball, as us announcers like to call it. And this brings up Garrison Schwartz, who looks at ball 1 as the count now moves to 1-1 on him. Schwartz leading off today for the Miners. He's 0 for 2. Flew out to left field in his last at bat, as this one's going to be inside. Count moves to 2-1 on Schwartz. The Miners are with the lead right now. This one's going to be popped up in the infield. It's going to be the third baseman, Millard, who calls for this one. He makes the catch. And it's missed out. The Imagine Miners get a double. Small ball. On the second of the game for him. And that's Miners leads.
Iggy invites you to become a member of the Chinooks Booster Club. This Alaska nonprofit corporation raises third baseman Tim Millard.
Tim Millard leads things off here for the Chinooks. They're looking to tie this game back up, as their offense is going to need some work if they want to win this ball game. And the first pitch from Shelton's going to be a breaking ball off the half the plate. You want to know the count on Millard? This one's also going to be inside, so the count moves to 2-0.
I believe that was his 41st pitch of the game. It's only the 5th inning, so you can potentially see him maybe go 7 or 8, potentially the whole game if he's being consistent as he is.
That would be the longest start of the season for the Miners to date. And Shelton gets a strike. Count now 2-1 on Millard. Millard is 0 for 1 as he swings this down the third base line, and that goes off the glove of AJ. This is going to be trouble as he throws in the bullpen and mishandling it. It's Peter Bynum over it.
In the low price company, we recognize you.
Millard with a leadoff double. And that's exactly what the Chinooks needed, to get their leadoff hitter aboard, and they could potentially cause some damage here in this bottom half of the inning.
Interesting note for those fans who are live streaming the game. The fences on the sides kind of slope at an angle, so perhaps that played a small reason why Spinner Bynum had a little difficulty being able to field the ball there. Kind of interesting setup with the bullpens being placed down there too. Not a whole lot of room in foul territory on the sidelines.
This brings up Alex Masoto. As Trent Shelton steps off. Going to keep Millard close at second base. Masoto playing right field today. He singled in his first attempt back in the second inning. As he looks at a first pitch strike.
Shelton not afraid to throw the breaking ball to right-handed hitters, even though that breaks in. A little bit of a gamble, but so far in this inning, it's worked for him.
So runner on second for the Chinooks, it's Millard. Soto at the plate. He swings and misses. And Sheldon now ahead in the count 0-2 on the righty Masoto.
Interesting call here. Chinooks are not opting for the sack bunt like the Miners did in the same position just a half inning ago.
They decide that they want to swing the ball, but they will get the job done here. It's going to be a dribbler over to first base. Tyler Wyatt just takes himself over first base. So they do get the job done, not on a sack.
At the plate for your Chinooks, number 2, the catcher, Ben Hill.
One out, as that brings up the catcher, Ben Hill, who flew out to second base to end the second inning. Levi Jordan making a great catch in shallow right field, as time is going to be called.
And it looks like Coach Taylor's playing the infield in. Any ground ball here, they're going to go to the plate to make sure to stop the runner.
It definitely makes sense, too. So if the Chinooks do plate this runner, will tie this game up, and this is going to be swung on, hit to deep left field. This should be plenty deep enough as the runner tags and Peter Bynes throw is going to be cut off out of third base for AJ Lee, and Chinooks deep man is getting up to 2-2. So the Miners took the lead on a sacrifice fly in the top half of the inning,
shortstop,
and that didn't
Isaac
really hold
Alvarez.
too long as the Chinooks ended up doing the same exact thing. Leadoff double for them. Both teams ended up having a leadoff double, and runner advanced to third base, and they both came home the same way via a sac fly. As this one's going to be hit to second base, Levi Jordan with a great glove there as he gets the scoop and throws it on over first to Tyler Wyatt for the out. But now for the Chugiak-Eagle over Chinooks tie this game up at 2.
Welcome
And we will be right back at the top of the 6th inning right here at Lee Jordan Field. I'd like to thank Josh Grissom for joining me these past 2 innings. Definitely
We got a red ticket giveaway. We got an official
we'll be right back. Dan Collins will be back on the call right here on your Mets
We want
Matters
you to
Radio
have,
Network.
grab your red ticket for an official.
Welcome back to Lee Jordan Field. As the Chinooks tied things up in the bottom half of the 5th inning. We are now in the top half of the 6th inning. And this brings up Levi Jordan. Levi Jordan singled in his first at bat and also was credited with a stolen base in that inning. That inning being the top half of the 3rd.
And Jordan, you and Josh talked last inning about the role of small ball and how they get that run in. And we talked on the pregame show about the fluidity of this lineup. When you have a guy like Scooter Bynum batting 7th and A.J. Lee and Nickens rounding out the lineup behind him, so many things that the Miners can do there. So when Scooter gets out with that double, you got a guy at the plate who could lay that fun down, and Nickens, who we've seen him before. He bats 9 tonight, but he's batting in the leadoff spot. He's batting in places also where the lineup such as 6th and 5th.
As this one's lined down the left field line it goes, and rounding second and going to second is Levi Jordan with a stand-up leadoff double, and this is exactly how the things started in the top half of the 5th inning for the Miners, as well as the bottom half of the 5th for the Chinooks. A leadoff double, and we'll see what head coach Ben Taylor will do as he's talking to Josh Bissonette, his number 3 hitter. And, you know, I think we had a similar play the other day in Anchorage. Not so sure if they wanted to take their bat out of the middle of the lineup. So we'll see what skipper Ben Taylor wants to do here with nobody out and the runner on second base.
And who other than Levi Jordan, once again, his 2nd hit of the night. That's his 7th in 3 games. Bad attempted bunt there by Bissonette.
NFL ball sponsored by friends at Dan Seckler.
Levi Jordan is cooling off.
Levi Jordan now 2 for 3 on the day. He was coming in with a .715 batting average, and you know, I mean, it was only 2 games in, but still, when he can get on base 4 times in your last game and 2 out of 4 times in your first game, you're doing something right. Is Bissonette squares around again as he looks at called strike, so I can't imagine now that the bunt signal will be on. I imagine head coach BT, Ben Taylor, in case you guys didn't know that abbreviation, will opt to have him swing away.
And all he has to do here, especially with the way the infield is aligned, is perhaps just slap one over to the infield on the right side, and that will just equally get the job done, as you would imagine Levi Jordan speeding up to get into the 3rd. As it looks like Bissonette was trying to take that pitch.
NFL ball sponsored by Labor's Local 341.
So Bissonette's still an opportunity here to get the job done. As we mentioned, as long as he can take this ball the other way, shouldn't be too hard for Levi Jordan to get into 3rd.
Here comes the 1-2 from Brady Batten as this is sent down the right field line, but that goes out of play.
NFL ball sponsored by
Even something like that would have worked for the Miners. Had that ball stay in play, it was deep enough out there in right field where Levi Jordan definitely would have had a perfect opportunity to tag up and mosey on along into 3rd.
So a 1-2 count on the shortstop Josh Bissonette, who is 0 for 2 on the day, as time's going to be called as catcher Ben Hill wants to talk things over with Brady Batten on the mound. Batten with 92 pitches today, and there is activity in the Chinooks bullpen, so you definitely got to think if he gets through this inning, this is definitely his last inning. So we got a 1-2 count on Josh Bissonette. Runner on second base, nobody out. As Bissonette fouls this one off again.
And that foul ball sponsored by Chugiak-Eagle.
By Josh Roulette. Here comes the 1-2. This is going to be a fastball high, as we have identified that pitcher in the Chinooks bullpen. It's going to be Robert Winslow, who actually pitched the last 2 innings in the last game against the Miners. If I do imagine correctly, it was 2 scoreless innings for him. As the 2-2, this and that's going to be inside, as he has worked the count to full. So pretty good at bat by Josh Bissonette so far to work the count. Pitch. Going to be swung on, hit right back up the middle, but that's going to be Alvarez who fields it and throws it over first base. And that does get the job done, though. As Levi Jordan advances to third base. You know, you don't really see that play happen too often where the ball's hit on the left side of the infield and the runner advancing from second to third base. But this was a weak grounder, too short. So he was able to take advantage of that situation.
That's right, and also the shortstop there for the Chinooks hustling toward the hole, making sure that ball didn't get up the middle into center, so that would have been hard for him to turn around the opposite direction and try to run down the speedy Jordan at third. So definitely he had no play there. And this is the kind of man you want up at the plate right now. Your number 4 hitter, Josh Roulette, your freshman All-American, who has more than enough pop in his bat to get this one deep enough to plate Levi over there from third.
Here comes the 0-1 to Roulette. This is swung on hit. They might try it, but it looks like it's going to be very shallow, and they're not even going to try it. And left fielder Hunter Vansall makes the catch in very shallow left field. Not really any chance for the Miners to score.
Yeah, that's unfortunate right there as Roulette is able to get the ball in the air and into the outfield. But as you mentioned, Jordan, just way too shallow there. Ben Taylor not even trying to risk a try there. Jordan didn't even take a step off the bag. So just an unfortunate situation here for the Miners.
Number 22, the designated hitter.
Still one more out to go, and they do have that runner at third. Anything here, it's obviously going to score.
And this is the middle of the order for the Miners with Jake Scudder as the new batter. As he looks at a breaking ball down. So count 1-0 on the designated hitter. Scudder 1 for 2 on the day. He singled back in the second inning and struck out in the fourth. As we await the 1-0 from Brady Batten. And a fastball. Evens the count up to 1-1 now, and Brady Batten is over the 100 pitch count. So we definitely imagine this is going to be his last inning. And 2 outs for the Chinooks. The 1-1 pitch is going to be away. Count now 2-1 on Jake Scudder. You mentioned in the home opener, Jake Scudder hit that big 3-run home run to give the Miners a 7-1 win. As this is hit to deep left center field, this is going to be trouble, and they're not going to be able to make the play as that falls in between Hunter Vansall and Millard in center field. And this is able to get the job done as coming around to score is Levi Jordan to give the Miners a 3-2 lead.
Number 15, the first baseman.
Imagine that will go as a double.
And that's where you're in your stripes right there. In a 2-out situation and a key RBI, giving the Miners here the lead once more. Very impressive there. A clutch 2-out hit. Nothing like a clutch 2-out RBI. We've seen one from Bissonnette last night and one here tonight by the designated hitter, Jake Scudder. As he's having a little chat there with Ben Taylor, I'm sure that RBI was much to his delight. And anytime you could pick your chance up like that, as Roulette wasn't able to hit a ball in the previous at-bat before Scudder deep enough into the outfield to bring him in for a sac fly. But his teammate from Kansas State getting the job done with a double, and now perhaps it won't weigh too heavy on the mind of Josh Roulette.
So the Miners do take a 3-2 lead, and it looks like the day is done for starting pitcher Brady Batten. We'll tell you who's on the mound and all about him when we come back on the next Miners.
Number 35.
Welcome back to Lee Jordan Field. The Miners took a 3-2 lead early in this top half of the 6th inning. And we got a new pitcher on the mound for the Chinooks. We got Robert Winslow coming in for the 3rd time this season. He's pitched 3 innings so far. Gave up 2 hits in those 3 innings. But he's been over the place. He's had 5 walks in those 3 innings and 4 strikeouts. With an ERA of 3. So this brings up Tyler White, who reached base in the 2nd inning via a walk, and then flew out to right field in the 4th inning. So 2 outs. On the new pitcher, Robert Winslow, who's coming in for Brady Benton, who went 5 2/3 innings, gave up 5 hits, walked 2, and struck out 5, but he is responsible for the runner at second base, that being Jake Scudder. And here comes the 1-1 pitch. Is this going to be foul or hit? And in foul territory, making the catch is going to be first baseman Ethan Wister. And the Chinooks do get out of the inning, so you can close the book on Brady Benton. As he went 5 2/3 innings, giving up 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. And
So glad to be joining us as the
jam.
Chinooks take on the
Right back
Matsu
here.
Miners tonight.
On the
This is
Matsu
a
Miners, ready to
three-game
go.
series with number 6, the second baseman, Will Bass.
Back to Lee Jordan Field, where taking the lead 3-2 is the score. As we now move into the bottom half of the 6th inning. There's Frank Shelton still on the mound for the Miners, and a good debut so far for him. As batter Isaac Alvarez squares bunt. Scratch that. At the top of the order, Will Bass. As the next pitch to him is going to be a ball, so count now even to 1-1. This one outside, count now even to 2-1. Swung on and missed by Will Bass. Count now even to 2-2 on the second baseman.
That was just some high cheese there by Shelton. We've seen him throw that steaming fastball a couple times already today. Still has it here later on in the game.
And a very close pitch not going the Miners' way. As Trent Shelton thought he might have had another strikeout to his name. But it's a full count now on the leadoff hitter, Will Bass. And here comes the payoff pitch. This is going to be swung on, hit into shallow left field. It's going to be Josh Bissonette who calls off the left fielder. Scooter Bynum makes the catch for the first out of the inning.
Coming to the plate for your Chinooks, number 5, the center fielder, Mason Mallard.
Coming to the plate here, he was over 2 on the day. He went out to center field his last time up. Trent Shelton with 54 pitches. As this one goes right kind of to the mound. And Shelton's going to have to hurry as this one goes in the right field. But Mallard is unable to pick up the ball there, and he should have been on second base easily after that one off the mid of Tyler White. We'll see how that's ruled. I believe that could be a base hit, as it would have been a very tough play for Shelton to make. But it looks like it'll be ruled an error. It's a very tough error.
I would say so myself, partner. Very interesting decision by center fielder Mallard.
At the plate for your Chinooks, number 22, the left fielder, Hunter Hanso.
They got the very easy balls, but all the way into the Miners bullpen, way down there in right field. It took Schwartz a little bit of time, actually had to go around quite a few teammates before he retrieved the ball. But luckily for the Miners, Mallard not getting heads up there, and he remains at first base. And as you mentioned previously, a tough error given there by scorekeeper to the man on the bump for the Miners side, Trent Shelton.
It's weird. They're giving the error to Tyler White over at first base, not the pitcher.
So plot twist. There we go.
If anything, if it is an error, it should have been on Trent Shelton, the pitcher. I don't think it should have been an error. As runner goes here on the breaking pitch, shows a great pitch to run on, and sliding in safely is Mason Mallard.
And Fred Myers is awarding a $10 gift card for every stolen base. And he will get it out at the end of this inning.
Regardless, it doesn't matter because Chinooks still with a man on second. That doesn't erase that fact. And things get a little bit more interesting here as the suspense looming in the air here at Lee Jordan Field as the Miners only with that one-run lead.
This one's hit into the left center gap. This could tie the game. And it will. This one goes all the way to the wall. Bringing it on and scoring with Mason Mallard. And heading to third base. On the baseline. Slides in safely.
And Northwest Delta Division recognizes himself Chinooks. It's a base hit.
He has to slide head first. And we go right back and forth it goes. It's a tie game now. As Miners do have some action in their bullpen.
Speaking of that suspense that's brewing here at the field, it gets a little worse as my partner just mentioned.
At the plate for your Chinooks, number 25, the baseman, the Richard.
Back and forth since fifth inning here between the exchanges. It looks like it. Luckily, it is just really the pitching coach out, so you're not imagining a pitching change, and that would be really tough.
While the Miners coach confers with his staff, let's give away that $10 gift card to Fred Myers at stolen base. It's a red ticket. If you have 115-198, 115-198, 115-198, you've got a $10 gift card to Fred Myers. You can redeem your ticket at the in-store tent. 115-198.
Been quite dominant on the mound tonight. Be unfortunate if he's sticking out before the Miners could get that lead again. At least you would hope Miners would get the lead again. Before they could do that, though, Shelton has to get out of this little jam here as the Chinooks do have a runner at third. And their cleanup hitter, first baseman Whisker, the baseball right down to the plate. See if Shelton can get back into his dominant form and hopefully bring the Miners up to bat the next inning with just a tie game.
Well, looks like Gage O'Brien is warming up in the Miners bullpen. As Shelton falls into the dirt, or the turf rather. So Vansaw over at third base. Still only one out in the inning as the Chinooks have tied things up at 3 apiece. So the Miners aren't out of it yet. As Shelton misses outside here, he falls behind 2-0.
Infield playing in for the Miners, so you'd imagine if it's slapped toward any infielder, they're going to be gunning it home. That is, if Vansaw decides to take off from third.
And the breaking ball catches the outside part of the plate for a strike, so 2-1 now the count on Ethan Whisker.
And a good move by Taylor to make sure his infielders are playing in, as this late in the game with it being tied up, you don't want to leave anything to chance here.
This one's going to be hit toward third, and a great job by A.J. Lee as he throws the song over to first base, and you're exactly right, partner. A great decision by head coach Ben Taylor to have the infield in, because if the infield isn't in, that run
Coming to the plate for your Chinooks, number 8, the designated hitter, Aaron Shackelford.
AGB, they're not only coming up with that tough pocket there, and it was rifled right his way, but also making sure to look the runner out. He didn't look him out for too long. He was able to still get the out at first. So 2 outs here now.
And that brings up Aaron Shackelford. Trent Shelton has had his number all day long. 2 strikeouts in his 2 at-bats. And Shelton misses outside. Count 1-0 on the designated hitter Shackelford. Vance all over at third base, 2 outs. And this one's going to be inside. He's falling behind here, 2-0. Gotta imagine this might be the last hitter for Trent Shelton if Shackelford should reach. This one's going to be down in the dirt. 3-0 now the count on the designated hitter Shackelford. There's Gage O'Brien down in the bullpen for the Miners. Here comes the 3-0. As he misses away. Ball 4. We'll see what the decision is. And it looks like as this brings out head coach Ben Taylor.
Coming to the plate for your Chinooks, number 24, the third baseman, Tim Malone.
It was a pretty good day here for Trent Shelton. One of those runs he gave up was unearned. That being this half of the inning. Still hasn't made the move yet officially. So perhaps he's just talking it over here with Trent Shelton. Shelton just got into town, like my partner mentioned, and there it is. There he just made the move. So Gage O'Brien will be coming in for Trent Shelton, who had a good debut for the Matsu Miners, that is. And we'll let you know about the next pitcher when we come back right here on your Matsu Miners regular network. Welcome back to Lee Jordan Field. New pitcher on the mound for the Matsu Miners. It's going to be the righty Gage O'Brien. O'Brien, this is the 4th outing of the season for him already. He's gone 3 innings pitched so far, striking out 3, walking 2, and not giving up a base hit yet. And if you don't know, this is a bullpen who has been spectacular to start the season. They have not given up a run yet, knock on wood. First pitch from O'Brien. It's going to be up for a ball. O'Brien from New Mexico. That's where he plays ball. He's from Tucson, Arizona, though. His next pitch is a strike on Tim Millard. Runners on the corners for the Chinooks. It is a tie game here, 3-all. As a fastball just misses. He falls behind 2-1. Mentioned this is the 4th appearance of the season for O'Brien. As this one's hit to deep center field, Madison Nickens is on his horse. As he
Right there by Madison Nickens.
As he makes the sliding dive, and if he doesn't come up with that, that's easily 2 runs for the Chinooks, and he keeps this game tied at 3. So great job by Madison Nickens and keeping those runners stranded. Tie game we go. This is the top half of the 7th inning right here on your Madison Miners Radio Network. What a spectacular play in center field by Madison Nickens. If it wasn't for that spectacular play, this would easily be a 5-3 game in favor of the Chinooks, and they'd still be batting in the bottom half of the 6th inning. But he keeps it tied for now as we enter the top half of the 7th inning. Scooter Bynum, A.J. Lee, and Madison Nickens is the do-up for this Miners club.
Yeah, last time this bottom half of the order came up in the 5th inning, they were able to produce 1 run, as Scooter did lead off that inning with a double, and a little bit of small ball played at him. We'll see what they can produce here.
Here comes the 1-1 to Bynum. Breaking ball, swung on and missed. If you recall, Scooter Bynum had that big double back in the 5th inning where he later came around and scored. Yeah, this one misses. Count now 2-2 on the lefty. Scooter Bynum playing for the Alaska Fairbanks Gold Painters a season ago. I know that's the National Miners, he swings and misses.
And Jalapenos Mexican Restaurant is awarding a $10 gift card. That is right out the Chinooks throw tonight, which we will award at the end of this inning.
As that brings up to A.J. Lee. He was officially 0 for 1 on the day.
Number 5,
But his last at bat in the 5th inning, he recorded a sacrifice bunt that moved Scooter Bynum over from second base over to third base, which ended up scoring Scooter Bynum later on when Madison Nickens came around with a sacrifice fly. Here comes the 1-0 to A.J. Lee. This is going to be a fastball on the inside part of the plate. It evens up a 1-1. A.J. Lee not liking that call as he steps away and regroups. There's 1 out, 1-1 count. It's going to be a fastball. Lee deciding to duck. 2-1 now the count on the third baseman from the University of Maryland. This one's going to be a liner right back to the mound. It's pretty easy play if you pitcher Robert Winslow. Seems like he had a whole lot of time there to really set his feet and a whole lot of other things too. So 2 outs for Robert Winslow and the Chinooks.
Number 12, the center
Brings up
fielder,
Madison
Madison
Nickens.
Nickens.
Nickens, of course, making that fantastic catch in the outfield. But
This one's
5th inning, and look at this. If you want to break out of a slump, sometimes that's the way to do it, as Nickens lays a bunt down toward the third base line, and a bunt singlet's going to be.
And a perfect bunt that is for Madison.
Number 18, the right fielder, Garrison Schwartz.
But that's exactly what you need to do sometimes to break out of your slump, as it was a very perfect bunt there. It was very tough for either player to come up with. So the Miners do have a runner here as Garrison Schwartz comes up as he sends us down the left field line. This is going to be trouble a little bit as this goes into the bullpen.
NFL ball sponsored by friends at Dan Sadler.
And you're really hoping Schwartz can get on here because the man on deck, no other than Levi Jordan, who is the hottest hitter on this Miners club. Definitely want him to get a chance to come up to the plate with runners in scoring position, and that would be the case if Schwartz could get on. Unless Schwartz decides to plate Nickens all the way from first and stay at first, but kind of an unlikely situation there.
And picking up time back at first base, but Madison Nickens slides in safely. And Garrison Schwartz, who was 0 for 3 on the day, who flew out to the second baseman in his last at bat as he sent
NFL ball sponsored by Laborers Local 341.
Levi Jordan awaits on deck. Shall Garrison Schwartz reach base? Madison Nickens over at first base. This is going to be a fastball high and away. It's just a waste pitch, trying to see if Garrison Schwartz could end up swinging. But he decides not to swing and stays alive for at least another pitch. As Schwartz still down in the count, 1-2. Pretty much the same exact pitch as the last one, high and away, 2-2. Now the count again on Garrison Schwartz. Madison Nickens gets his lead over first, and there he goes. He's stealing. This is going to be fouled back
NFL
away.
ball sponsored by Edward Jones Financial Investments and Gavin Reed.
Nickens taking his time to go back to first base. Time's called. Play now resumes with the 2-2 pitch. We'll see if Nickens goes. And he does not. And this is going to be a fastball away, so a pretty good at bat by Garrison Schwartz as he's worked this into a full count here. 3-2 now the count on Garrison Schwartz, the right fielder for the Miners. One of the most patient batters on this team. And Nickens will be off on the 3-2 pitch. And this is swung on, hit into shallow right field. There's going to be a second baseman coming to make the catch. That is Will Bass to get themselves out of the inning. The Miners unable to do anything with the bunt by Madison Nickens.
So I'd say
Now
by
it's
all
the seventh inning right here on your Metro Minor
matchmakers at home up. You're on your way to
Reese scores the head to the bottom half of the seventh inning.
115-299.
Now comes
Coming up to bat for the Chinooks. Number 17, the right fielder, Alex Masoto.
So 1 for 2 on the day. And singled back in the second inning and then grounded out to first base his last time up as he swings and misses. Dr. K's Pediatric Dentistry is a beautiful, brand new state-of-the-art dental office in friendly and convenient Palmer, especially designed for children. Your child's comfort and safety is their top priority. Check them out online at matsunews.com or call 745-KIDS. That's 745-KIDS. Gage O'Brien missing outside. Count now 1-1 on the righty. DeSoto swings and hits this into right field, but this is going to go into the Miners bullpen. The count now moves to 1-2.
Come on, guys, win this one.
Here comes the 1-2 from Gage O'Brien. Fastball got away from him. Inside. Count now 2-2. On the side over, he's playing right field today. Breaking ball, strike 3, as he got him to swing and miss. That's going to be Gage O'Brien's first strikeout of the game. And his 5th of the season.
Now batting for your Chinooks, number 30, the catcher, Ben Hill.
That is 4th strikeout of the season. And this brings up Ben Hill, the catcher, who recorded a sac fly in his last time to tie up the ball game for the Chinooks in the bottom half of the 5th inning. And we do have a tie game. It's gone back and forth it goes. And the 1-0 pitch is going to be a fastball outside.
And a good job by the catcher Roulette. They're trying to do the best he can to frame that pitch perfectly, and hopefully, was hoping for a strike there, but good call by the umpire, 2-0. Good effort by Roulette.
This is inside. Count of 3-0 on Ben Hill.
Swing away, man. Swing away.
This is rolling away. A 4-pitch walk to Ben Hill. Brings up the number 9 hitter, Isaac Allen.
Coming to the plate for your Chinooks, number 12, the shortstop, Isaac Alvarez.
Alvarez is 0 for 2 on the day. Grounded out both of his times at that bat. This one's going to be swung on and missed. Now with outdoor seating, you can enjoy a refreshing drink and good friends outdoors in the Alaska sunshine. Located in downtown Palmer, the Palmer Bar is a great place to grab a bite to eat and take in the sights. Call 907-745-3041 today. Bill over at first base, he gets his lead. And the second strike to Isaac Alvarez. He's now down to count 0-2. O'Brien wants to check with Ben Hill over at first base, but he slides back safely. Here comes the 0-2 from O'Brien. Going to be a breaking ball. Strike 3 called. A little late, I think, or maybe not. Just hope didn't get up. The second strikeout of the inning, end of the day.
The second baseman, Will Bass.
O'Brien.
Lead reaction by everybody. Umpire at the plate, Alvarez at the box, and O'Brien didn't really know what to do. So 2 seconds passed, and then umpire Davis calling him out.
And this brings up the top of the order, Will Bass. As this is going to be an off-speed pitch, and this is going to miss high and away. Going out of the count. Bass, if you remember, hit a leadoff triple on the very first pitch of the ball game, that is, to give the Chinooks an early 1-0 lead. But it is 3-3 now as he paints the corner. 1-1 in the count. Bass not liking the call. As the Chinooks faithful coming to life a little bit. The 1-1 pitch from O'Brien is going to be fouled out of play. Like that, and it's in play, but foul ball. And you got a 1-2 count on the leadoff hitter, Will Bass, who is 1 for 3 on the day. Breaking ball, did he go around? Yes, he did, says second base umpire Brad Polk. So Gage O'Brien strikes out the side in the 7th inning. And we now head to the top half of the 8th inning, where the Matson Miners will be coming to bat right here on the Matson Miners Radio Network. On the score,
Coming to the plate for the Miners, number 1, the second baseman,
Eli
Jordan.
Jordan comes to bat for the Miners. Double and later came around to score his last time up. Got off the 6th inning with a leadoff double. And was played home by designated hitter Jake Scudder, who had a double of his own. Jordan with a first pitch strike. Jordan 2 for 3 on the day. Got a single and a double, and he's also struck out back in the first inning. This is going to be right back up the middle. Shortstop Alvarez, who comes up with it and goes out. Levi Jordan over at first base for the first side of the inning.
Number 6, the shortstop, Josh Bissonette.
Bissonette looks at a first pitch strike. Josh Bissonette 0 for 3 today. And struck out and ground out to short his last 2 times up as a check swing. And this goes foul. Count now 0-2 early on the shortstop from Baylor University. The 0-2 pitch. It's going to be swung on, just foul. This goes into the Chinooks bullpen. And tossed out of play. That's going to be a souvenir for that young fan. Swings and misses.
Next year, I'm awarding a $10 gift card for every strikeout. I will award that at the end of the inning.
And that brings up Josh Roulette.
Number 25, the catcher, Josh
Walked
Roulette.
back in the second inning and later came around to score the first run of the game for the Mets. First pitch from Winslow, misses high and away from the catcher Roulette. Roulette fly out to the left field his last time up. Let's see what's at ball 2. If Roulette reaches base, Jake Scudder would be next as he waits in the on-deck circle. And Roulette swings and fouls.
And that ball is sponsored by Friends of Dan Sadler.
The count moves to 2-1. Roulette swings, hits this into right center field, but this should have enough air under it. Back out there to begin the bottom half of the 8th inning. So far, he is out the door on these Chinooks hitters, not allowing them to score yet. Here comes the first pitch. He's going to be squared around. I believe that hit him in the box. So foul ball. As head coach Ben Taylor coming out to discuss something with home plate umpire Chris Booker. Perhaps he's just trying to ask if he was out of the box, because if he was out of the box when the ball made contact with him, he would be out. And Chris Booker says that it did hit him in the batter's box, so only one count on Mason Mallard. Mallard is 0 for 3 on the day. He reached base via an error. Probably should have been a base hit. An error on first baseman Tyler Wyatt. He was unable to make the play from pitcher Trent Shelton back in the 6th inning. It's now 0-2 on Mason Mallard. Breaking ball right back to Tyler Wyatt, and I believe he's going to take it himself. He does for the 3 unassisted. Record their first out of the inning. They'll bring up the cleanup hitter.
Batting number 22, the left fielder, Hunter Manso.
First pitch to Vance. It's going to be a strike. Fastball strike on the outside corner. Off-speed pitch. Also catches part of the plate for a strike. 0-2 now the count on the left fielder, Hunter Vansell. Vansell over 3 on the day. He reached base last time via an RBI double. Tied the game up for the Chinooks in the bottom half of the 6th inning. The 0-2 pitch from O'Brien's going to be fouled off. And the 0-2 pitch from Gage O'Brien. Fastball high and away. Count now moves to 1-2 on Vansell. One-two pitch is going to be called strike 3 on the outside part of the plate. It's going to be the 4th strikeout of the day for Gage O'Brien. And he already has 4 strikeouts in this game. 3 strikeouts coming into today with 4 strikeouts in this game alone. So 7 on the season for Gage O'Brien, and there's already 2 outs now for the Matsu Miners. There's a breaking ball down in the turf. 1-0 the count on Ethan Whisker.
O'Brien also yet to allow a hit. He did allow a free pass to Hill last inning. But other than that, no other base runners for the Chinooks.
And O'Brien has not given up a base hit all season long either. Interesting note. But he has walked quite a few. And this is outside here. And his catcher Joshua Lutz just goes to show Gage O'Brien to settle down here. 3-0 now the count on Ethan Whisker, the first baseman. Paints the corner for a strike. First strike.
Come on.
Get that.
Jesus. Rachel's on the white line. I can see that.
Very unhappy fan as a 3-1 count is going to be swung on and missed. 3-2 now the count on Ethan Whisker.
The fans always assume that they know best.
Let me tell you, they do not.
Well, at least that's not the case here. Lee Jordan Field tonight.
And here comes the payoff pitch from Gage O'Brien. Breaking ball hit to second base. Levi Jordan fields this one and throws it on over to Tyler White at first. And a job well done by Gage O'Brien, as he's been able to shut the door for the Matthew Miners in his 2 1/3 innings work here today. As we now at the top of the 9th, Matthew Miners and the Chinooks are tied at 3-3, and we head to the top of the 9th right here on your Matthew Miners Radio Network. So it's tied up 3 apiece here as we head to the top of the 9th inning.
At the plate for the Miners, number 22, the designated
As
hitter,
Jake Scudder comes to bat to lead things off here for the Miners. Scudder, 2 for 3 on the day. singled back in the second and doubled back in the sixth. Also recording an RBI in that sixth inning. And see, looks at the first pitch ball inside. Boy, would the Miners love to take the lead here. As Scudder sends this one into shallow left field to come in and make the play. The fire advantage on left. This is a pretty quick game so far. Unfortunately, it is tied, so for all those fans back east in the Central Time Zone who have stayed up, thought that, you know, they might be able to watch this entire game in its duration, it's not looking that way right now. But the Miners, with one out in the top half of the ninth inning, and Tyler Wyatt looks at the first pitch strike.
Just might have to get that coffee brewing and the Keurig machine going. Keep all the sleepy-eyed parents at home nice and wide awake, and hopefully could see a rally here by their Miners.
Count out 2-1 on Tyler Wyatt. Currently 1:09 a.m. back in the Eastern Time Zone, which would make it 12:09 in the Central Time Zone where you're from. I'm pretty sure we have a lot of players from the Central Time Zone, so that's pretty much where the bulk of our players call home. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. That's when we swung on hit into shallow center field. And coming in to make a diving play is Mallard. Mallard keeping the Miners off the base pass. Coming in with the diving catch. And a beautiful one, that is. For the second half of the inning.
Quite a few great plays tonight made out there in center field. We've seen one by Nickens just a few
Number 9,
minutes
the left
ago.
fielder, Scooter
Now
Bynum.
one here by Mallard. So there you go. A couple web gems tonight coming in center field for both squads.
And that brings up Scooter Bynum, who doubled back in the fifth inning. He's 1 for 3 on the day. The second time on base, however, as he did get on base the first inning after he beat out a fielder's choice to score the first run of the game, that being Josh Roulette. As Scooter Bynum looks at another ball, 2-0 now the count on the left fielder. Bynum, an Alaskan native. He mentioned that he did play for the Goldpainters last year. Goldpainters not in the ABL this season. Opting to play independent ball. Scooter Bynum looks at a strike all on him. 3-1 now the count on Scooter Bynum. Scooter Bynum, the only Alaska player on this Miners team. So they wait for 3-1. Ball 4 high and away on Scooter Bynum. So a patient at bat there from Scooter allows him to reach base here in the top half of the ninth inning with 2 outs.
Come on, guys, that's no great.
And the perfect base runner to have up here right now if you want to take the lead before heading into the bottom of the ninth. Scooter perhaps being the fastest Miner on this team. So he definitely has the wheels to burn. You would imagine with 2 outs here in the top of the ninth and the
Number
score
5,
tied,
third baseman, A.J.
skipper
Lee.
Ben Taylor would be quite aggressive there at third,
That's professional.
trying to send his Miners home with a W.
This brings up A.J. Lee for the 4th time today.
Yeah, I was surprised.
He sends this one behind home plate. Catcher Ben Hill.
A foul ball fumbled by friends of Dan Sattler.
It looks like the Chinooks and the Miners have action in the bullpen. It looks like the Chinooks have a submarine kind of pitcher out there. Absolutely submarine it is.
Oh, yeah.
As we await the 0-1 pitch from Robert Winslow to A.J. Lee, but a pickoff attempt back to first base, but sliding in safely is Scooter Bynum.
That's pitcher / outfield. Austin Treadwell in the bullpen doing the catching for the Miners. As the Miners are only down to 1 catcher here. Troy Squire sent home earlier today with a hand injury. Wish him the best and a speedy recovery.
As we have a 1-1 count on A.J. Lee, the third baseman today. Scooter Bynum broke towards second, but put on the brakes. As the count now moves to 2-1 on the third baseman Lee.
Striking.
Comes a 2-1 pitch. Fastball low and away. Looks to be a very tough pitch for A.J. Lucas to hit that one. And as a pitcher, if you can paint that corner low and away, you're going to have a long day. 2-2 pitch. Scooter Bynum takes off for second. It's a ball, and Scooter Bynum slides in safely to second base.
Good job there by Scooter doing the best he could to get into scoring position by swiping that bag. And a good job by A.J. Lee in the batter's box. It was a touching pitch, especially being a 2-strike hitter, but having a very good eye at the plate and taking that and running the count full. Could have very easily swung at that, especially with the 2 strikes. I wouldn't have blamed him by any means.
So Scooter Bynum over at second base. Very important stolen base for the Miners. If a base hit goes into the outfield, Miners could take a 4-3 lead. This is into the gap, and Ben Taylor's going to be sending home Scooter Bynum. We're going to have a play at the plate. The tag is not in time as it goes all the way to the wall, and moving all the way to second base is A.J. Lee. So A.J. Lee coming in clutch here with an RBI single and advancing over to second base on the missed throw by the left fielder, Hunter Bansall. So the Miners take a 4-3 lead here in the top half of the 9th inning and bringing up Madison Nickens for the 4th time of the day.
And that stolen base by Scooter is huge, absolutely gigantic here in the top of the 9th inning. And a great job with the count being full on A.J. Lee to serve that one past the infielders and into left field.
So credit A.J. Lee with an RBI single as Nickens fouls this one off as home plate umpire Chris Booker going out to the mound to give catcher Ben Hill some time. You'll see catchers and umpires doing that with each other. If a umpire gets it, the catcher will just walk the ball out there to give the umpire time. This time, the umpire giving the catcher a little bit more time.
Nice to see him being courteous, and even with the speed of Bynum, impressive from Vance out there in left field. If the throw was a little bit more on the mark, that would have been a close play at the plate. Luckily for the Miners, the throw was a little long and reached the fencing area over here in the backstop. But quite an impressive throw there from Vance on left field.
So A.J. Lee is on second base. Madison Nickens with an 0-2 count as he looks at a ball outside.
Come on,
He takes a huge breath. It was always tough to protect with 2 strikes, and always tough when you have 2 outs as well and the runner in scoring position. But Nickens able to lay off, and the 1-2 pitch down in the dirt. And a good stop by Ben Hill to keep that ball in front of him and keep A.J. Lee on over at second base. You mentioned Nickens, 1 for 3 on the day. He reached base via a bunt single his last time up in the 7th inning. And swung on and missed. Madison Nickens goes down swinging for the 2nd time today. But the Madison Miners a 4-3 lead here in the top half of the 9th.
It's the Chinooks versus the Miners.
Are
By home.
in line for a victory at the end of the bottom half of the 9th inning. Just 3 outs away from sole possession of first place. We'll be right back here on your Nancy Miners Radio Network. Bottom of the ninth we go. Last chance for the Chinooks. As they're 3 outs away from their second defeat of the Miners this season. Coming in to pitch for the Miners and for the save is going to be Jordan Floyd, the left-handed pitcher out of Kansas State. This season has pitched 3 innings so far. In 2 games, 5 strikeouts and 1 walk. He has given up 1 base hit on the season and recorded a save in yesterday's victory over the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. As here in the top half or bottom half of the 9th inning, as he swings and misses here, as Tim's even up a 1 apiece.
And that the Miners' first 2 victories of the year, both coming courtesy of a 7-1 decision. So we were wondering who the closer was going to be for the Miners, and it seems, at least at the moment, it is going to be Floyd that Ben Taylor goes to in the 9th inning for him.
And swung on and missed again by Aaron Shackelford as he finds himself in a hole 1-2 now. As Jordan Floyd did record the save yesterday. It was a 2-inning save for him. Gave up 1 hit, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts in his 2 innings of work. And this one's going to be lined just foul into the Miners' bullpen, though, as he fights and stays alive.
And that has to tell you something about what skipper Ben Taylor thinks about the psyche of Big Boy Floyd, because obviously it takes somebody with a little extra something special to go out there on the mound in a safe situation. So he thinks he is the man for the job here early on in the season. And if things pan out, I would assume that would probably be the same, but you never know.
Here comes the 1-2 from Jordan Floyd. Fastball. Ouch! This goes off of the helmet of catcher Josh Roulette. Foul ball, that is.
Catcher.
Jordan Floyd stands 6'2", weighs 250 pounds. Kansas State guy. Teammates with Jake Scudder and Josh Roulette. 2 position players on the Miners. And the 1-2 pitch is going to be swung on foul. And a nice play there by the umpire. He just has to throw that back to Floyd himself, not to switch the ball out.
I wonder how that must be for Floyd, who is used to Josh Roulette from their Kansas State days. So it has to be somewhat of a good feeling to come to a summer baseball league out here in Alaska and win this familiar face behind the dish for you.
And the 1-2 pitch from Floyd is swung on and missed. Got him to go down swinging this time. And that's going to be the first out of the inning, first strikeout of the day for Jordan Floyd. And the Chinooks are down to their last 2 outs.
Batting the British Chinooks, number 24, the third baseman, Tim Millard.
1 for 3 on the day. He swung up to center field his last time, but prior to that, a double and little 2-run steal. First pitch from Millard is going to be a fastball away. Count now 1-0. Comes right back with a fastball on the outer half of the plate for a strike. 1-1 now the count on Tim Millard, third baseman for the Chinooks today.
So was that.
This one's going to be a strike as well. I thought that might have been a little bit low, as you hear some words from Millard and the fan base here at Lee Jordan Field. And as we await the 1-2 pitch from Jordan Floyd. That's going to be swung on. That's hit a ton. Into lead left center field. But right there is Peter Byers, who comes in and makes the play for the second out of the inning. And just like that, the Miners are 1 out away from sole possession of first place and their 4th straight victory.
At the plate, for your Chinooks, number 17, the right fielder, Alex Masato.
brings up Alex Minnesota. 1 for 3. He singled back in the second inning, but was left stranded. That's pretty much all he did today. Foul ball right back at us. Meeting manager Josh Grissom did not even flinch, but I sure did. But to my credit, he wasn't even looking.
Working on his steady press release. Let's hope it's a victory here and not a rewrite for good old Josh Grissom. That wouldn't be kind. Nobody a fan of the rewrite in this industry.
As we await the 0-1 from Jordan Floyd, is swung on and missed. That one was in the dirt. Got Minnesota to chase that one. And the count is now 0-2. Miners 1 pitch away, 1 strike away, that is. And 1. Jordan Floyd gets the save. I believe the loss is going to be to Robert Winslow. I believe he's still on the mound. Yes, the loss will be charged to Robert Winslow, who went 3 1/3 innings pitch, gave up 2 hits, one run, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts on the day. So the Miners are in first place. And, we'll be right back here. The Miners take game 1 of this 2-game series against the Chinooks. This is a league that all the teams are very tightly contested early on.
Yeah, so you definitely want to take as much of a lead in this top of the Alaska Baseball League standings as you can. And if things remain the same, you can only imagine that they will at least be within the top 4s. You have to be within the top 4 out of 5 teams to make it into the playoffs and then into the top of the World Series, as the first seed will face the 4th seed, second seed will face the 3rd seed. And with the ball club playing like this, hard to believe that they will be left out of the postseason. You just have to hope that things stay the same in that clubhouse. Says nothing but good vibes.
That's right. So the Miners are victorious here today by a score of 4-3. Any last words before we sign off, partner?
I think one thing, once again, that I want to reiterate is that we've noticed these past few days that the Miners are doing a good job at winning baseball games by any means necessary, whether that be by a blowout or a close game. You know that they so far have the psyche and the ability to come through in any way they can, picking up W's, and rightfully so, they get 4 straight wins.
That's right. So the Miners victorious here today. 4-3 is the final in Chugiak-Eagle River, defeating the Chinooks by a score of 4-3, and that just about wraps things up here at Lee Jordan Field for my partner, Dan Collins, and also my partner for today, Josh Grissom, who's also the media manager. He's Mr. Utility Guy. He was the PA announcer in yesterday's home game against the Pilots yesterday, and has done a fantastic job this season. So thank you, Dan. Thank Josh. And I also want to thank the Christophers, Pete and Denise Christopher, the general manager of the Matsu Miners, and for allowing us to be on this broadcast. But we'll be right back here tomorrow. Dan Collins on the play-by-play, me and Josh Grissom will have the color here from Lee Jordan Field at 7 o'clock again. So pregame at 6:50. We'll be back here tomorrow. We'll see you guys then.